this that you have said now, let's talk about specific terms of incidents and situations within Nigeria that might have influenced this decision. Seem to be blowing it out of proportion. But if we look at Nigeria that has caused this labeling on the
Jumoke, he was pinpoint specific. And his pinpointing specificity was that Christians were being killed in Nigeria. And obviously, I am not sure I, myself, and we will find that to be stranger. With killing naturally Christians, churches. So in the specific reference to Donald Trump, he was making an allegation that some of us know as Christians being killed and being slaughtered. But we also know that non-Christians are also affected by what I believe there are some other deeper raison d'etre for him to now be specifically looking at the Nigerian situation, and that includes the endogenous, the side influence about geopolitical alignment and realignment, China, Russia, issues surrounding, quote and unquote, the emancipation of Nigeria, really, in terms of the minerals and the resources that I know now, of the Gulf of Guinea, the marine sounds, people who are into security will assuming a nation, and that appears to want Dangote. And the questions are now being asked. What really might be the real reason? Because there are real reasons, there are perceived reasons, there are optical reasons, including our politics, and the fact that we ourselves have never was a major part.
Well, you see, no matter how good or bad, these what President Trump has brought to limelight is. I grew up in the North. I grew up in Kaduna. I was born there. I schooled there. I married there. I had my children there. And it was this issue of unrest that made my family to fight, So that was what it was. They were killing both Christians and Muslims. But for people to deny that, or not deny rather, but trying to talk down or make light of this issue of the killings in the North, I think I have an issue with that. Do you think it should be downplayed by our government?
It cannot be downplayed. It will not be downplayed. And Jumoke, I'm going to be a bit in your gestalt. And I know that at that time, the concepts of unity, federal character was the reason why we had federal government colleges at that time. And so we had all of us all commingling, doing things, in spite of the fact that we had our differences in identity. But we were taught to clobber together. I will agree with you on one score. What you have described now as talking down, what you have described down as wanting to play down, what you have described now as being a Humpty Dumpty that is sitting on the wall, not knowing that, look, if he has or she has a great fall, can never be put together again, in the altar of politics tricking people to ascend and gain power. It is in the coloration of politicians just to continue to pretend as if black to recognize that they were there and they will continue to be there. To recognize that they were there, these are there. Let's understand them. Let's see how we can get over that. And that takes us to the amalgamation, which was for some other interests. And so just sew it together, even if things are not moving in the direction that they should move. And then we ourselves now then got back and started our second tenure as president. So there is such disbelief that the incubus knot takes the direction as regards how Nigeria is going to be ruled. Divide and rule, not been able to get our acts together. So all politicians come, see this problem, are unable to tackle them, and we ourselves have armed to the teeth those either endogenous or indigenous who agree with you. If you look at it and you are President Trump, that country, because you know what he calls our country at one time, shithole or no shithole thing, and then beginning to see that, okay, maybe things, geographical area which happens, geographical area which happens to be Nigerians. Say, what really all that? So we are not able to tackle it. Those who are ruling, I repeat, those who are ruling got to power at all levels, from the stain and blood. Is it the yellow water that's just happened? Is it the one that is happening in Kwara area? Care, absolute care needs to be taken. We allowed other forces to now go say, look, we are being marginalized. We are not within the levers of power. Allegedly, secessionists with religion, with religion, everything becomes jambalaya. If it were going to be an omelette, you can still have something to eat, but it's now so thrown, have been despoiled, both by same Americans, both by Europeans, when our people that they use at one point in time steal as much as possible, they have a say. It's much more ambiguous. It's much more destructive. It's much more than all what
at the surface.
All what we see. And then, of course, to now then have a president who is aligning with BRICS, have a president who has two ambassadors, okay, even to the US. You now have a president who, for one reason or the other, is shaking Russia, shaking that Donald Trump, that gave us a bit of a lifeline. The president that we thought was a black president and was going to be an Obama ignored us for reasons that we were ourselves know our own goals. And they were not going to assist us in any way. Allegedly, the CIA and their infiltrations here and there have done it in Libya, Venezuela, Afghanistan, from American interest. So that American interest that we are thinking about in Nigeria will be the resources, as far as I'm concerned, will be our capacity to be able to refine, and will also be our capacity to be able to stand taller than we are. But unfortunately, the Tower of Babel is still wobbling, passionate. I think he's into the camera and look at you and say, that has not been the usual recalcitrant, even though some people are stoking the ember. No, go attack. You can't attack us and all that. All those are feeble. I think trying to expand and make an understanding that Nigeria cannot be a country that you say is genocidal, even though we see so many dead people. There are dead Christians, there are dead Muslims. Christians who have harbored Muslims, at peril times, and vice versa. I am particularly happy at the short statement that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu made, now amplified by his special assistants in Daniel Buala, to be said, because on March 18, I think it was last year, this same President Bola Ahmed Tinubu with his Attorney General caused to be published names of terrorist financiers, Mamu Tukuru, one of 6, and then, Bureau de Change operators, their names haven't looked well enough. It's Tukuru over to your predecessor. Time came out boldly and raised a hand on television and said, yes, we failed. When you know you have failed, have not done well, it's not by continuing to dig in or by any propaganda. I say we've not done well, dig in, or by any propaganda. I say we've not done well enough. Let's stop. Let's begin to see how we can. Let's stop. Let's begin to see how we can reinvent ourselves. So, the response so far has been balanced. I see to them, but emphatically singing the tune. People, too much of a pride. We are looking at issues of corruption. Just go out there, and now they are waking up to see how they can appoint ambassadors. I hope President Bola Tinubu will be able to. We have thread on blood. We have continually massacred people, people who gather together, and then we now need the kind of cohesion that we should have, and not division.
All right, so when you read some of these things online and you check people's comments, you just laugh and laugh. So when someone said, but they gave us Tucano jets. What have we done? So what have we done with those Tucano jets? All right, so going forward, what practical steps, in your opinion, should Nigeria be taking now to address these issues and rebuild trust internationally? Because we need to be seen, our government needs to be seen to be taking some serious practical steps, maybe going out of the normal decisions to see that these issues are nipped in the bud.
I think the communication should be stepped up, not antagonistic. I think if the balance sheet or the mirror is shown to us as areas of concern that we have not done enough, now raise serious-minded panels to go look at them, how to close the gaps. If there are yawning ones within government that has infiltrated government, Jonathan has been saying, it's always been there and all that kind of stuff. No matter whose horse is God, identify them and bring them to book immediately. If you don't know how to identify them, because you have eyes and you cannot see, people who have seen and giving you the hints. I hear there are about 12 state governors who have been known to aid and abet, issues surrounding insurgency. Now, all these things I'm saying has to be juggled at the same time, not one follow the other. And then, so you are now waking up Well, I see, I'm sorry I have to say it, I don't know why. Yes, Nigeria, yes, they are in their 80s, when they are going to their 90s, seasoned, diplomats, my dear Professor Bolaji Akiyemi, Anyanku, I think they should rise up, they should be empowered to begin engaging, the American Congress, the Ted Cruz of this world, to look at things. These are areas of concern. These are areas that we also have concerns, allegedly, and there are certain things we are not going to take. You are not going to be dictating to us. We are a sovereign nation, no doubt about that. At the same time, we also have our own foreign, all that. So we do a bit of a give and take. He sometimes acts or speaks before, recognizing certain things. He should know that we cannot be like South Africa or elsewhere. Apologies to my dear brothers that he's going to want to talk down on and all that. We have people. So we begin, it gladdened me, the Russian national television had to speak to Buala, and he was brilliant and all that. So the thing is taking some kind of international dimension, and President, the other POTUS are also saying, look, not just in Nigeria, elsewhere, ain't going to happen that you are going to get American blood to come and spill, to come and put our teeth down somewhere. The unity that also, people that are agitating that they want to separate, they are free. That normal process. We have a prisoner, is it a prisoner of conscience we call it, in Kano, should, in my humble opinion, go through the courts and a political solution should be sought. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu should, as in everything, when you take 5 steps forward, there is no harm if you take 1 step backwards. You are still 4 steps that you have taken. We need to please, have not been able to put their acts together. We should not go one party state. It be abundance for all, the space of strikes and what have you. And so when we now have those ambassadors, whoever is sending petitions, we will also have our position to counter mission and vision. Yes, we recognize the American interest. Yes, I happen to have spent the better part of my career working in an American interest that turned me to be what I am in terms of my worldview and my capacity in terms of governance. America's interests should be such that can be deepened. Handshake, the Chinese and the Russian are all there. Russia is already in the West African sub-region, in our land borders, all surrounded. America, in other words, Jumoke, I am saying 2 wrongs cannot make a right. 4 wrongs cannot make half a right. But let's start inwards. Let's start from ourselves.
Let's address the issues. There are issues.
At the issues.
And tackle them.
If how we are going to get ourselves governed. We've not been able to,
all right, thank you,
to take a decision on rulership, who should rule us. We no go agree. Politics of Emilokun, politics of marginalization and all that kind of stuff.
Thank you very much, Akin Fatunke, for sharing your insights with us. It's really so much.
Thank you very much, Jumoke. I hope you didn't forget my prediction.
I even like your cap.
Thank
you.
The
way it's sitting is just in a class of its own.
It's making a statement. America, bring Jack Boots to Nigeria.
All right.
We are going to get what I believe in. Thank you.
Ourselves at home. So that's the The Committee of Wives of Lagos State officials held its 25th Annual National Women's Conference from Tuesday, October 28th to Thursday, October 30, 2025 at Eko Hotels and Suites, inspiring the next generation. Hosted by the First Lady of Lagos State, Dr. Ibijoke Sanwo-Olu, and the wife of the Deputy Governor, Mrs. Olurem Beyond. A major highlight of the event was a panel discussion moderated by media personality Bimbo Oloyede, featuring Assistant Inspector General of Police retired Yetunde Lunge, General Manager, Lagos State Materials Testing Laboratory Agency Olayinka Abdul, and Permanent Secretary, Lagos State Emergency Management Agency Olufemi Oke Osoyintolu. The discussants emphasized the vital role women play in community safety, advocating for vigilance and stronger collaboration with law enforcement.
Our mother, late Mrs. Olufumilayo Mobolaji Johnson, wife of the first military governor of Lagos State, who gave us the wings to fly. As you all celebrate this milestone, may your passion be renewed for greater service to 25 remarkable years of impact. God bless the Committee of Wives of Lagos State Officials, Council. God bless Lagos State. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Invest into yourself. Let me tell you this. We are all celebrating Dr. Mrs. Sanwo-Olu today, not just because she's a governor's wife or Mrs. Hamzat. When we have raised the girl child, mothers, fathers, let's start raising the boy child, so that when these accomplished women get to the top, the boy child will not be inferior. God bless you. God bless you. Thank you. Thank you.
Hola, hola, hola. Thank you, thank you.
I see women that have what it takes to be who they have chosen to be in life. And like I said, we're still coming for the bigger cake. But let me tell you this. A lot of women truly are going through a lot of things. But I need you to think about this before I come back. What do you do if all you have is one whole day to yourself? You don't have to care for your husband, you don't have to care for any child, you don't have to care for a man without one whole day. Think about it. It has been observed that quite a lot of us, our lives outside of giving it to others is almost nothing. No one is going to do it for you.
But I understand what the bishop said is that let your life not be all about. One of the staying powers of my marriage is that I feel very safe being with my husband. And I think one of the staying power of my marriage is that I feel protected. I feel safe. Their marriage. A lot of people are bleeding, and when they go into the marriage, they end up bleeding on people who didn't cut them. So very important that before we go into relationships and marriages, we fix our parents to rush us into a marriage we are not ready for. We feel that at a certain age, we should be married. And then we make the first mistake of marrying the first person that proposes to us because we are looking
to societal progress. He described council as a movement of visionary women driven by the belief that governance thrives when men and women work together.
We know that in the course of this 2-3-day conference, businesses and ideas are usually transformed. They're usually shared. Businesses are usually exchanged. And people come around spouse, a better community leader in their various community, a better women pastor, a better, this is the essence. The next 1 or 2 days. The next 1 or 2 days. Let us remember there's also a time to story and write about ourselves. How will history judge us? Because First Lady Sanwo-Olu will not be there forever. As she has shown, there was a Tinubu era, there was an Ambode era, there was a Fashola era, there was an Ambode era, there was a Fashola era. There's certainly going to be a Sanwo-Olu era. But it is really about the actions that we all take today. The leader will lead to the essence of inclusivity, ensuring that nobody is left behind. No market woman is left behind. It's only when we do that that the next chapter of council now become what we're all talking about. To ensure that women remain in the center, in the heart of development, and in the progress of our state and our nation. Yes, mothers, sisters of vision, of compassion and impact. Let us renew our collective resolve to be will be more inclusive, will be more transformative, shape conversations and discussion, not only in Lagos, but in Nigeria, where every woman can dream freely, can lead boldly, can thrive fully without being considered a second fiddle, without being thought or imagined that they cannot do it, without being given a second look at where are they coming from, because they are right in front. That's the counsel that I believe we require. And so on your behalf, and on behalf of the government and people of Lagos, I want to congratulate council and every woman whose heart led to this remarkable milestone.
Pushing yourselves beyond expectations, your sacrifice and tireless commitment. Together we have kept the flame burning for 25 years, and together we will pass on an ever brighter torch to the next generation. Pre-conference engagement. We had our pre-conference prayer in the Cathedral Church of Christ to mark this significant milestone. As we commence this 3-day conference, I encourage every participant to be fully engaged, open-minded, and intentional. Let us learn, share, network, and commit to mentorship and community impact. When women are empowered, families become stronger, and communities thrive, and nations prosper. A lot of work has been put in to assemble highly competent resource persons who will share practical insights and experiences to equip us. Women, when we take action, our families, organizations, states, and nations will see the return on this investment. Let's restore the value algorithm, prioritize service. As women, we soon realize that after we have given birth to children who have given birth, there is more. In previous years, we learned to unleash sustainable women leadership and development, leaders, female professionals, and change makers. In the words of one of our former peers, Benjamin Enyayewu, your legacy isn't the change you made. It is the change that remains long after you have left. Build something so strong that even those who don't understand it fully cannot break it. Projects have end dates. Policies get rewritten. Budgets change. But a leader you've invested in, mind you, have shaped, a vision you've passed on, that's a living legacy. It multiplies. It outlives you. Counsel was handed to us, and we will surely hand it over to others behind us. I ask you, dear women, dear mothers, dear grandmothers, dear female leaders, dear businesswomen, dear female, please say you are building a purposeful womanhood. Please ask the woman sitting next.
Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu reaffirmed his administration's